Week 9 has another great slate of games for all of us NFL fans here. And this is another good one. Probably not for the best reason, but more for the playoff implications as the Minnesota Vikings fly down to Atlanta to play the Falcons. And the reason why I say probably not for the best reasons is both of these teams are not going to be playing at full strength because two of their star players on each team is out. We all know, as a Falcons fan, I will say, tough. I really like Kirk Cousins. Absolutely hate hearing what happened to him, seeing what happened to him. And I wish him nothing but the best. Genuinely do feel that. And so on the flip side, then talk about the Falcons' major injury. They lost Grady Jarrett, their star defensive tackle here. Both, you can make an argument. Both have had really good careers. Grady Jarrett still has a couple more years left in him. I think Kirk Cousins still does also. But both have had very good careers. Maybe not Hall of Fame careers yet, but we'll have to see. But it'll be close, I think, for both. But those are just the two major stories kind of coming into this game and how they're going to be able to bounce back from that. Jaron Hall came in, the rookie quarterback from BYU, came in for the Vikings. And for the Falcons, when Grady Jarrett went out, it was noticeable for that defensive team. He is the heart and soul of that defense. And Tennessee was able to run all over them. They made Will Levis look like an absolute god, which he did play really well, to be completely fair. But I want to throw it over to you, Ryan. I'm not going to ask the question which injury is more impactful, because obviously I think the Kirk Cousins one is significantly way more impactful than Grady Jarrett. And the Falcons have already kind of addressed that injury a little bit. They just traded for Contavious Street from Philadelphia, trading a couple late-round picks for him. So already kind of replaced him, and he's a good overall talent. Played with the Saints, played under Ryan Nielsen, the defense coordinator. So I mean that is already, it's a big loss, but still started to replace a little bit of it. The Vikings, though, where do you go from here? I mean, and they just won 3 in a row. What are your overall expectations? What do you think the Vikings are going to have to do this Sunday?
I was thinking about it today, and in a very odd way, I think this could be a little bit of a blessing in disguise for the Minnesota Vikings. One, this is going to, and this is a bad thing for Kirk Cousins, but for the Vikings, this is going to hurt Kirk Cousins' free agency value a ton, right? Like they could most likely get him on a cheap 1 or 2 year deal to come back and probably finish out his career in Minnesota. And to me, I think that opens them up for a lot of possibilities coming in the draft. Obviously, losing your quarterback, you expect this team to take a pretty big regression on the offensive side of the ball. Especially, I don't think Justin Jefferson is eligible to come back this week. It's next week when he's eligible. Yeah. And so I'm really curious to see kind of how this offense ends up looking against this Falcons. And the Grady Jarrett loss is big. However, if you're going to choose a position to lose a guy for the entire year, defensive tackle is, I think, one of the easier ones to cover up, because you can send more blitz packages, you can rotate defensive tackles maybe a little bit more and keep guys fresh. And I'm not trying to discredit what Grady Jarrett has done in Atlanta. I just think that is a easier position to cover up than some.
No,
there's more workarounds, I think.
I understand what you're saying. I was unsure where you were starting in the beginning, but then I got you there, because he's just a Pro Bowl talent. I mean, he's one of the best defensive tackles in the league. He's been one of the best defensive tackles in the league the past couple of years, and so to lose him is just going to be a major loss in general. But I mean, I do see what you're saying, because they do have David Onyemata now, do have Calais Campbell. I would not be surprised if they make another big splash here in the trade market. Maybe go after. I believe it's Montez Sweat from Washington. Maybe go after Daniil Hunter. No, they won't go after Daniil Hunter, because the Vikings won't trade him this week since they're playing the Falcons. Also, too, the Vikings are in it. They're 4-4. It might be out of the division here, because we're recording this as of Monday night, and the Lions have a firm grasp on the Monday Night Football game. But in general, though, the Vikings are still in it. And so right now, Jaron Hall is their backup quarterback. And I did see one of their quarterbacks was coming off of IR, Nick Mullins, coming off of IR, eligible next week. So that'll be very interesting. But it looks like Jaron Hall is going to get the ball here. The thing that concerns me for the Vikings moving forward, this season is the fact that you're going to have a backup quarterback, and at the same time, you really struggle to run the ball to begin with. I know losing Grady Jarrett, but still, this is an overall good run defense in general. And so if they're not able to run the ball there, then now you put in the hands into a rookie quarterback who, well, frankly, the Falcons made a rookie quarterback they made him look great last week. So, but it's going to really limit the effectiveness of Jordan Addison, TJ Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson when he does come back, just because of especially Jordan Addison. He was starting to get on a roll ever since Justin Jefferson went on IR. He took over that team and just replaced his stats instantly. TJ Hawkinson as well, I think is another good option that would be tough to cover and still going to be tough to cover. But with the injury, though, it's not going to be as effective. It's going to be interesting to see what type of game plan they come out with for the Vikings. On the flip side, it's going to be equally as interesting to come out, see maybe not the game plan, so to say, for the Falcons, but just who is going to be calling the plays for the Atlanta Falcons. Is it going to be Taylor Heineke or Desmond Ridder? They made the switch at the halfway mark, and we were talking about it before we recorded last night on the Sunday night game. And I mean, it's hard. I mean, you put the guy in and he puts up 17 points, scores four of his 6 drives. The last drive should have continued, but Van Jefferson dropped the ball. Just real control over that offense. Definitely could see the overall lack of arm strength overall, which is what I think has been hiding, which is what has been putting Heineke back. But I mean, he did turn the ball over, which was really nice. And so, curious to see kind of the Falcons' game plan overall. But this is another one, though, and you look at the Falcons' schedule for the rest of the season. Like, I don't think they play a winning team, or like as of right now, or at minimum they're 500. They're at maximum they're 500. So, like, this team should be like these teams should be able to go win. They should have beat Tennessee. I think the Grady Jarrett injury had a huge impact on the game. Also, then Desmond Ridder's performance as well. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Falcons bounce back from this, because they just keep shooting themselves in the foot, which is what's giving me a little bit of hope for this team moving forward over the rest of the season and the next couple of seasons as well, with how young and talented they are. It just seems like it's just these young, dumb rookie mistakes, and if we can just kind of keep building on those, maybe not this year, but maybe make a good run next year, maybe even the year after that. Just looking big picture, but especially because when healthy, this defense is, top 5 in the league, and hopefully Grady Jarrett can come back. But before we move on to our predictions, I just want to say, if you are still watching us, thank you for making it this far, 8 minutes into the video. But also hit that like button, also subscribe to the channel, and help us just keep growing our community. And so we had a goal of getting to 2,000 subs by Halloween. Right now we're sitting at 2,001 as of the recording of this the night before Halloween. So greatly appreciative to everybody that subscribed. So if you have not already, subscribe, and also leave a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win the game. Ryan, who do you have winning this game and why?
I'm going to go with the Falcons here. I think Taylor Heineke will probably get the start, and he's a spark, right? We saw that when he would come in Washington, and he's not the most accurate passer. He doesn't have the greatest arm strength, but he plays hard. He gets his teammates to play hard, and against a mediocre at best Vikings defense, a good offense that just lost their quarterback, and now their rookie quarterback is going to be forced into the starting spot against one of the top passing defenses in the league, even without Grady Jarrett. Like AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates, and crew are all going to be throwing things at this quarterback he's never seen before. So I'm going to go with the Falcons for that reason. My answer would definitely be different, I think, if Kirk Cousins was playing in this game.
Yeah, if Kirk was playing this game, would be interesting, because this offense had really, I think, taken a turn for the better. Him and Addison really been on good connection. I think the Brian Flores defense coordinator additions has really helped out this defense, because I think they just send it. It's just like, if you're going to score, it's going to be like one play drive, 75-yard touchdown, or we're going to make it really difficult for you. And I think that's why I think Heineke is going to get the start here, because one of the things with the Falcons, and I think this is what's going to help the Falcons win the game, that's going to go with my prediction, is one of the things I just noticed, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but it just seemed just like Ridder. When you looked at Ridder versus Levis in that game, Levis was like changing out plays. He feel like he knew the playbook, feel like he knew the blitzes. If you like check, like you check out of these plays, can it? Then he switch the play, run to go from pass play to run play based on the formation that he saw. He'd help pick up blitzes, give up blitzing assignments to running back, so to say, to pick up these guys to help give him more protection. And Ritter, and maybe it's a combination also too. The Falcons' offensive line is not really playing well so far this season, but Ritter has been making those mistakes. He's not picking up the blitzes, and this is all pre-snap stuff, and this comes.
Yeah.
In my opinion, just that overall control of the offense that I think Heineke is going to get for you. I bring up blitzes specifically because Vikings is the team that blitzes the most in the NFL. I think going into last week they were about 53%, 55%, and especially against a very weak Packers team, I'm sure they just kept blitzing off another horrible offensive line. So I think there's going to be a lot of blitzes coming from Minnesota, and I think that's going to require a veteran quarterback who's going to be able to pick up those blitzes, put out those assignments. I also think he just gives you a little bit more control and command of that offense. So, and I think with that, combined then with the Vikings really, I think, scrambling on how to come in with an effective offensive game plan this week, I think it's going to help the Falcons win 21-14.
Yeah, I think it's going to be low scoring. I was going to say 20-13. I think the Vikings will be able to kick field goals and maybe get a touchdown here or there. So it's going to be an interesting game. It'll be close for all the wrong reasons, but we're both going to take the Falcons. Let's go ahead and wrap up this video here. If you have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Is it going to be the Minnesota Vikings, the Atlanta Falcons? And other than that, we will see you guys next time.